Alright, welcome back to Chit Chat with CK. I'm CK's daughter Priyanka, here to ask some questions that we've gotten from some of the previous videos. And today I have with me my friend Varshi. Varshi, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm a Creekside senior currently this year.
Yeah, Varshi has gone through the college application cycle herself this year, applying as a pre-med major, and she's committed to UF with her sister. So we thought it would be a wonderful idea to have her answer some of the questions we found other parents or people viewing our channel had for us. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So there's a parent here that's concerned about their kid's pathway into pre-med. They're asking what APs are best and what's more weighted overall. They initially wanted to go to a school that had a pre-med track available, such as Beachside's Biomedical Academy, but weren't able to get in and they were waitlisted. So now they're choosing Creekside. What do you think is best in this situation?
Well, for AP classes, I would recommend taking class like AP Bio, AP Chem, and AP Physics maybe, and then also AP Calc. But all the APs are weighted the exact same, so there's no difference in how the APs are weighted. So they all add the same exact amount to your GPA.
Mm-hmm. And APs are hard to study for, of course. They're college level courses. What skills or strats did you find going through high school that helped you study for these exams or for the AP tests in general for any of these science courses?
I would recommend taking a lot of practice tests. I feel like that was definitely something that I did when I was studying for AP exams. So I would review the material, and then I would take a practice test, and then I would review which types of questions I was missing on the practice test, and then go back and look at that and review that topic more in detail.
Okay, nice. So when should a PSAT be really taken? I know it's a really important thing if you want to get that national merit finalist scholarship or whatnot. And what should someone do to train for it, or what type of books should they be getting to study for at home?
For the PSAT, I would recommend taking it 11th grade, since that's the year that it actually gets counted for national merit. And then to study for it, I would use College Board's website. They have a question bank where they release all their questions that they've used for past exams, and you can go through and change it to which types of questions you want to practice on.
What did you find helped you the most when you were in the PSAT studying process?
I would say using College Board's question bank really helped for me, since they have a whole bunch of different question options and exactly which types of questions you want to practice on, so you can filter it based on which ones you're struggling on and which ones you just need more practice on.
Mm-hmm. And did you take the PSAT in previous years, let's say your 9th or 10th grade year? Because I know I did in high school, and I don't know if that helped me a lot personally.
I did, and I feel it kind of just set me up to know exactly what is on these tests and what's exactly being tested before I got into the years where it actually mattered.
I think a difference between me and Varshi here is that when I started out taking the PSAT, it was all paper-based until it switched to digital the year it counted for me. And in her case, I think it was always digital, was it not?
Freshman year for me, it was on paper, and then sophomore year and junior year, it was digital.
Interesting. So, see, there's a little difference in how we both studied. So I can definitely see how it helped her get set up for success her junior year. So, were you part of HOSA in high school?
I was, but I only did it for 1 year, my junior year.
What did you like about HOSA? What were the benefits you saw for anyone that was planning to go pre-med?
I liked how there was a whole bunch of different event options. So there's different things for exactly what you're interested in medicine. Mm-hmm. So based on that, you could focus in on your exact interests.
Okay. And instead of HOSA, what did you end up doing for most of high school in terms of your big club,
I would say I did a lot of the honor societies. Mm-hmm. I was in majority of those, and then also FBLA, I competed for that.
Ooh, tell me more about FBLA. How did that set you up for success?
Well, FBLA, I did the event sales presentation for the 3 out of 4 years that I was in the club, and I feel that made me better on my presenting skills, since it was a presentation and I had to convince judges. So yeah.
Well, do you have any fond memories from that experience?
Yeah, like the states and national trips are really fun because you get to go on like a whole trip with your friends for the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Wait, that's amazing. I wish I went on those trips in my high school years. But do you think dual enrollment or like getting an associate's degree would be like useful in terms of like a GPA boost or like when it comes to college, like application process for pre-med?
Well, I feel like dual enrollment classes are generally easier than AP classes,
Mm-hmm.
so it would help for like the GPA boost. But I only took one dual class my whole entire high school time, so I don't think it's like necessarily like needed, but it's like if you just want an easy class to boost your GPA, then it's definitely like an option.
Okay. Did you ever take any of the like the AP equivalent of that dual class, or do you know like what people thought between the two?
The AP class I took dual enrollment freshman English one,
Mm-hmm.
and like I would say like the equivalent was probably like AP Lang. That's what most of like the other juniors were doing, and AP Lang was definitely like way harder since they were writing more actual essays and like analyzing texts and stuff. While in dual we were just writing like more fun and silly kind of essays.
Okay. UF does UF have a 2% acceptance rate for just pre-med? Do you think like people that are trying to get into UF for pre-med in the future years should be worried about this number, or do you think it's more of like a number to just scare?
I feel like it's just a number to just scare. Like looking at the amount of people that got into UF this year, it's definitely like way more than I honestly expected. So I feel like it's not that hard. It's not like something that you should really like worry about.
What do you think are like key factors in your application that got you into like UF and all these other amazing schools for pre-med?
I would say like having like a good like college essay, writing on something that like you're actually like passionate about, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like having good grades in general, just like high GPAs and stuff.
Definitely. Someone asked, is it really necessary to do a research paper in your like high school career? In my case, I was working outside of school doing a research project on my own. But what do you think for pre-med?
So I actually didn't do anything like that. I did like volunteer kind of things, but nothing like actually research based. Other than until this year in my AP research class, but even that, it's like nothing really like serious research. It's just like casual kind of research.
Okay, so you're talking about volunteer hours. What type of like volunteer experiences did you have throughout high school?
So I volunteered at a couple hospitals. So I did Baptist, I did St. Vincent's, and I did Brooks. And I feel like that like they provided a lot of hours since it was like programs that last like over days. And it also like provided the experience of actually like being in like the inner workings of a hospital and seeing how like the environment is.
What year do you think this needs to be started from? Do you think it should be started from like as soon as you're done with your freshman year? What is your recommendation?
I would recommend doing it as soon as you start freshman year, since there's like a whole bunch of different opportunities, and it's better to have like your hours in earlier than like trying to like cram them in last minute.
Mm-hmm. And then what about clubs in high school? I know you mentioned like FBLA and the honor societies. What type of leadership positions did you hold throughout high school that may have like, added to your college application?
So currently I'm in Hugs, which is like a service-based organization, and I serve as one of the co-presidents for that club. And then also for Science Honor Society, I'm the vice president this year.
Okay, very cool. What do you think, like, for college apps, do you think you need to have, like, a lot of leadership positions, or do you think just a few that you're truly passionate about help a lot?
I feel like just a few that you're truly passionate about help a lot, than rather than having a whole bunch that are just going to take up, like, unnecessary space on your college apps, rather than having, like, a couple that actually, like, mean something is way better.
Mm-hmm. And then APs, we're at Creekside. Creekside's been an AP school, and now they're slowly transitioning to having more dual enrollment classes. How did your AP classes progress throughout the years? Like, did you start out with 1? Did you end with, like, 7? How did that work?
So in freshman year, I took one AP, which was AP Human. And then sophomore year, I took 4, which were AP Pre-Calc, AP Psych, AP World, and AP Stat. And then junior year, I took 5, which were AP Bio, AP Micro, AP Calc AB, AP US History, and AP Seminar. And then this year I am in 6 APs technically, which is AP Gov, AP Calc BC, AP Chem, AP Physics, AP Research. Is that 6?
I think that's 6. I didn't count in my head either.
I don't either. I don't know. I feel like I might be forgetting myself, but it's okay.
What do you think has been your hardest AP throughout high school?
My hardest, I say probably AP Chem.
AP Chem?
Yeah.
What, you're taking that this year, correct?
Yes, I am.
Do you feel prepared for the AP exam?
Right now, not really.
What do you think is going to help you when you're starting to prepare for the exam?
I would say just going through all of my past notes and just relearning everything rather than trying to memorize it and yeah.
What's been your favorite AP?
My favorite AP, probably bio. I really like bio. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I completely forgot to ask. You're working, or you've been working at Duncan for a while now, right?
Yeah.
Did you put those hours towards your volunteer hours?
I did not submit any work hours.
How'd you find it, balancing these out-of-school extracurricular activities, school itself, and then working part-time? It must have been a huge time commitment.
It definitely is, but once you're actually doing it, it's, I feel not as stressful because you're just not really thinking that much. You just kind of just do everything, you know?
Do you work during the school week itself too, or is it just limited to weekends?
I do work during the school week, but I usually only work 1 to 2 shifts per week. So it's not something that's taking up a lot of time or anything.
Okay. And then in terms of volunteering, and how many hours did you do, and how what's the minimum? Do you think it's you need to do way above the minimum, or what do you think?
So the minimum is 100, and that's how many you need for Bright Futures. But I did 300, but I really don't think you need so many hours since I never even actually put all my hours on my college apps. I don't know if colleges actually saw all that. But yeah, I would just say at least try to get to that 100.
Do you think it's better to diversify where you're getting your hours from, or getting them from these hospital opportunities you were talking about?
Well, when you're submitting your hours, you don't see exactly where each hour is coming from. But if you did a lot of time at a hospital, you can make a whole slot on your activity section for that. That's something that I did. So yeah, it would be nice diversify your hours.
Yeah. College essay, I think it's a big topic for anyone. They have to write this huge 600-word essay about some amazing thing that may have happened to them. What was your essay about, dance, or was it something more personal to you?
It was just something more personal. It was more something broad, about my whole life in general rather than a single thing.
And what do you think is a good college writing essay strategy that you found helpful when you were writing?
I would first make a list of things that you really like about yourself, or things that you're just passionate in. Just take it from there and then connect those things to something that have a bigger meaning or a bigger lesson, and then just start brainstorming from there.
Totally. And then you also did dance outside of school, correct? How many years have you been doing dance for?
I've been doing dance since I was 8, so around 9 years now.
Oh, wow. Do you think you'll do that in UF as well? Is that something you'll continue?
I don't think so. I feel it's going to be too much of a time commitment once I get to UF.
Well, Varshi, thank you so much for coming over and being on this edition of Chit Chat with CK with us. If you guys have any more questions that you would like us to answer in future videos, drop them down in the comment box below.
Thank you.
Thank you.